Hey, gun people. You just can't make this up. I am freaking shocked what I found out with Denton police. They have literally made it to where, as me as a cop, and for people that may not follow me, they don't know my experience. I'm a 30-year experienced cop. I was done a lot of things at task force, gang, auto theft, child abduction. I was an investigator for the DA's office. I've been around police, so I don't want somebody coming here saying, oh, this guy just hates police. He's an Antifa. I've got plenty of years carrying a badge, decades. And I know crappy, lazy police work when I see it. And I also know when agencies have bad policy that allows for abuse with no checks and balance. And this policy with Denton is absolutely crazy to me. I'm just shocked. I mean, literally right now, let's say I am a Denton sergeant and you come to me and you're a rape victim and you go, yeah, I went out with this guy and, I had a couple beers, but I told him no and he raped me. And I look at you and go, you know what? You're dressed a little trashy. You were drinking. Probably deserved it. I'm not going to investigate. Here's a report. We'll take your report. We'll give you a number. And then we're going to make the case inactive, which means no investigation. We don't follow up. We don't interview the suspect. And we just close the case. We never refer it to the DA. The multitude ways that this is fraud for people who are paying taxes in Denton, to where now Denton is hiding their crime stats. They're victimizing victims. They're re-victimizing victims. They're giving victims, they're totally seizing their due process. This is just one of the most outrageous policies I've ever seen in my career. I just can't believe that nobody has found offense. And I've talked to 3 different sergeants, a lieutenant, and I sent an email to the chief of police, which she didn't respond because she's okay with it. By having this policy that cops, and it's not just sergeants, the policy, and I've got a copy of the policy, I'll slide it in here. It says a supervisor or his designee, which means I can tell some little patrolman with 2 years experience, you're my designee. Do you think this case ought to be investigated? No, I don't think the DA will prosecute it. Okay, let's make it inactive. They stop, they don't interview, they don't collect evidence, and they close it. I am afraid. So that's just one aspect for sexual victims. Let's look at another racial thing. Everybody's all concerned about racial stuff. Let's say I'm a black person and I go to a white officer that doesn't like me, and I'm a victim of a crime, and he goes, the DA won't prosecute it. We're going to make it inactive and we're not doing anything. Let's say I go to a black officer. He don't like white people. I'm a white victim. Sergeant goes, you know what? I'm not real happy about white people anyway, and you're a victim. I'm going to make your case inactive. We ain't doing anything because I think the DA won't prosecute. So they're saying the DA is incompetent. If I was the DA, I'd be pissed. They're saying that they are the ultimate decider on who gets justice, who gets due process. The DA is an elected official by the citizens who is supposed to review crimes and decide what gets prosecuted and what doesn't. Denton has taken this authority upon themselves to say we're not referring it to the DA, we're not investigating it, and we're just going to give you a report number. This is just crazy. You guys are sitting here, I guarantee you're thinking, that can't be true. I thought it couldn't be true either. Here's how I got here. Because I was a victim of this thing. This isn't about me and whether they arrested my guy. It started out that way because I thought they were lazy. And so the cop told me that, no, we're not doing anything. And I'm like, dude, the guy ran me off the road. Hang on, let me show you the video. So I'm in Denton County on a highway driving through here, and here's what this idiot does. Watch right here. This guy passes on his shoulder. This isn't a roadway. He passes in the median on the highway and rams me into another car. Ready? Bam! Hits me, jerks me, knocks me. The lady next to me had fear in her face. I was looking to the right, trying not to hit them, trying not to cause a 3-car pileup. This knucklehead rams me and then pulls in front of me and brake checks me. And I have to slam on the brakes. And I show this video. I mean, I just can't believe it. So I show this video. I call Denton police, and the guy gets out of the car and he's like, yeah, you need to learn how to drive. You made me brake when you passed me. I went, dude, we're in Texas. There's a lot of traffic. I made you brake? So he said, yeah, you made me brake when you passed me. That's why I did this. So that proves his intent. So when I call Denton police, they go, just deal with the insurance. I'm like, what do you mean? This guy just used a 1,000-pound vehicle to assault me. I said, he hit me and ran me off the road. He could have caused a 3-car accident. He endangered everybody on a highway. You're saying it's not a crime? No. Mind you, I told the officer, I said, are you telling me that if a car passed a cop car on the median and rammed him with his vehicle into other cars, you guys wouldn't arrest him and think that was a crime? Well, I'm not saying that, but you just need to deal with your insurance. And I've got recordings of this from the officer. No, it's not a crime. The DA won't prosecute, so we're not going to do anything. I go, who are you to say the DA? So I think the cop's being lazy. So I file an IA complaint. I try to talk to the sergeant. Nobody calls me back. The sergeant says, talk to the officer. It's up to him. I'm literally like dumbfounded while I'm dealing with this. And again, I don't want to make this about me. This is how I came across this policy, and I was like, this has to be a mistake. So the sergeant in IA tells me, oh, no, that's policy. We do that 50 times a day. I go, what? He goes, yeah, if we don't think the DA will prosecute, we don't do anything. I says, aren't you going to call the guy and at least get his statement? He may say I did it because he pissed me off. He already told me that. I said, this is a cut and dry case. He went in a roadway he wasn't supposed to be. He rammed me. He admitted that he did it intentionally because he said I braked him. I said, this is the easiest case in the world. You don't think the DA will prosecute? No. So maybe Denton Police just knows the DA is incompetent, won't do anything. But they're not even giving the DA a chance to review it. I said, are you going to at least refer it to the DA? No. We made the case inactive. So the IA sergeant goes, yeah, this is standard procedure. So I'm just like shocked. So I sent an email to the chief and she like didn't even respond. She was like, standard procedure, whatever. I don't care. So now I'm like on a mission to say this is crazy. I mean, this is just so bad for the public and victims. If I had a daughter in Denton, I'd get them the hell out of Denton. And I damn sure think they're manipulating their crime stats. So I did a Freedom of Information Act. I got a copy of the policy. The policy basically says that a sergeant can make any case inactive if he doesn't think the prosecution will prosecute. So we have a police department that has taken over the powers of the DA's office, which is illegal in Texas. So I found this document from the Texas District and County Attorneys Association. I reviewed it. Plainly says local elected city attorneys and district attorneys, criminal district attorneys, are responsible for prosecuting crimes. Well, in Denton, the DA doesn't matter because Denton Police has decided we get to say who gets prosecuted. We don't even send it to the DA. We have taken the DA, the elected DA, out of the equation. So I wanted to add in, I contacted the DA's office. I spoke to the chief investigator over there, and he was like, I didn't know Denton was doing that. He goes, they could have referred it over to us. We could have put it in front of a grand jury, and the grand jury could have decided. In Texas, as a citizen, I can represent my case to a grand jury and see if they will indict. I was going to get the information just to prove Denton was an incompetent bunch of idiots. I was going to get their report and maybe go to the DA's office and do it myself just to make a point. But Denton won't even give me the report to where I have my statement recorded by a government agency. It's just crazy the amount of power and abuse that they have allowed to grab in this policy. Now, let me tell you from a cop perspective why this is happening. Denton Police is lazy and incompetent, and they don't want to do investigations. So if they think you're not a worthy victim, or if they think you're not worth their time, which is their job, I might add, what they're paid for, as a cop, it's my job to gather evidence, investigate crimes, make a case, and refer it to the DA for prosecution. That's my job as a cop, not in Denton. Now, you can't drive through Denton without seeing 4 cops on a traffic stop because they're really good at giving out tickets and collecting revenue because that's easy. There's no paperwork. Sign your license, sign here, and I'm done. I get my quota and everybody leaves me alone. But when it comes to actually doing an investigation, and this investigation is like, all I asked them to do, I said, all I want you to do, there was a witness in the car. I want you to identify the witness. Even if I wanted to civilly sue him, I can't identify that witness. I could take this guy to civil court. I'm not, but I could. I was like, look, as a cop, you need to at least interview the driver. No, we're not interviewing him. The DA won't prosecute. I said, he knows who the witness is. I said, that's a witness to me and my insurance company. Nope, we're not doing it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Absolutely zero service and total contemptuous. We are God. The DA doesn't matter. The law doesn't matter. And you as a pesky victim doesn't matter. I mean, and I didn't tell them I was a cop, so they didn't know. I didn't tell them until at the end when I started complaining and saying, look, dude, all this BS you're giving me about we do this all the time, this is normal. I said, that's not normal. I said, I work for the DA's office. My DA would have been pissed if he knew the police department were screwing over victims and saying, you don't matter, and we ain't sending it to the DA, and the DA don't matter. because that's basically what Denton is doing. The bigger thing is cops already have too much power. I said that when I was a cop. No other agency, no other official in our government is allowed to carry a gun, pull a gun, and kill somebody and take your life. Nobody. Judges, attorneys, lawyers, even our politicians can't do that. Cops are the only one with that authority, which is why it's so important to hold them accountable and to make sure we don't make it easy for them to abuse their authority. And this policy just flies in the face of checks and balance. If you look at this document, it says right here, the arrangement differs found in other states, some states in the federal government. The way it works in Texas is the DA and the judges and the courts fall under the judicial branch. We have 3 branches of government for those who have graduated public school. It's called legislative, judicial, and executive. The executive branch is all cops and law enforcement. The judicial branch in Texas specifically falls under the judicial branch because it works with the courts, it's prosecuting, etc. The police department has pretty much said, no, we're the judicial branch. We can do what we want. We don't need the courts and we don't need the DA. And we get to choose who is a real victim and who gets an investigation and who the DA even gets to see their report. This is so outrageous on so many freaking levels. So here's their policy on inactive cases. See, they're not saying that we have all this power. They're making it sound like, oh, we inactivate a case when we don't think the prosecution will do it. How do you know what the prosecution, how do you know? Let me tell you what's happening. If they send this case to the DA is going to look at it and go, did you interview the suspect? They're going to go, nope, we didn't think it needed to be. Did you identify the witness and interview him? Nope, we didn't think that was needed. The DA is going to refuse to prosecute and send it back to them for further investigation. Well, guess what? If you're a lazy, incompetent department and the DA is always sending back your crappy investigations, how do you work around that? You don't send it to the DA. And then you don't have to investigate and nobody can tell you that you're doing it. Meanwhile, victims get screwed and re-victimized. So I went on a mission. I sent this letter to the commissioner court in Denton, which is like 4 representatives, each district's in Denton. I sent it to the city council. I sent it to the mayor. I sent it to the county attorney, to the city attorney. I sent a copy to the DA. Everyone! You know what? I'm one person, I'm nobody. And anybody that reads this is going to be like, oh, this is just some guy who's pissed off because Denton police wouldn't do an investigation and wouldn't refer it to the DA. Well, I am kind of pissed off about that, but I don't really care. Honestly, I don't even care if the guy got arrested. He was a jerk. He drove like an idiot. It was road rage. He probably should have been charged. I don't even know his criminal history. I don't even know if he has a friend, sister at the PD. This is another problem with this policy. If I have somebody in my family and they victimize you and you come as a victim, the police department go, we don't think the DA is going to prosecute, so we're going to make this case inactive. Now, of course, the PD, when they get questioned on this, and I believe they will be questioned on it, they're going to have all these elaborate cop talk, cop explaining shit about, well, it's not that easy. I know the policy says that, but, the lieutenant reviews it if the sergeant, and if he saw something, and if we get more information, we can make it active again, and we can remove it. That's all bullshit double talk. Cops are deciding who is a real victim and who isn't. And that's bad no matter how you look at it. Not just for my case. If they do this 50 times a day, and I did a Freedom of Information Act to find out how many times they do this a year, they said they don't keep stats. They're refusing to give it to me. I even asked for a copy of my report to see, as a victim, I want to make sure the cop wrote down my statement as I said it. I said, I want to review my statement that I gave the cop. Nope, not entitled to it. They give me a media copy of the report that just has my name and the officer's name and stuff. Refuse to let me see I paid money to get a copy of the report. They only gave me, I'm only allowed in Denton to get a copy of the crash report. I'm not allowed to get a copy of the report to see what the police did, who they contacted, who they referred it to, who reviewed it, who made it inactive, who was deciding authority, and what reasons they made it inactive. They just get to say, we don't think the DA will prosecute. It's inactive and we're done. Have a nice day, pesky victim. If you were ever a victim, and you need to refer this or send this video to anybody that was a victim of a crime in Denton and any other police department, if I was a police department and I wanted to not work and be easy, I would be adopting this policy. Every department of land would be like, screw the DA's office. Why do we want to send them cases? then they'll just send it back and make us work. You know, the same old story. Oh, we're overworked. Our job is tough. We don't have enough officers. We need more money. We need a new building. We need more cars. But we don't want to work and do our job when someone is a victim of a crime. Absolutely outrageous. So I sent this letter. I'll attach a copy if you want to. I'm not going to put my phone number. My phone number is at the bottom of it. I signed it. It's my letter. I own it, and I'll put a copy so you can review it if you want to, or you can forward it, or you can take from it. I sent it to my representative, my state representative. I sent it to Ken Paxton, the Attorney General. I haven't sent it to the governor yet because, I mean, he's probably not going to do nothing. He'll probably just forward it to Ken Paxton. But if in Texas, if one agency is doing this, there's other agencies. This is a workaround on how we can be lazy as a cop, how we do not have to do our job, and we cannot be held accountable. This is so bad on so many levels that cops don't already have enough authority. Now they're able to ignore the DA, ignore you as a victim, refuse to contact the suspect. I've never been in a case in my life where I didn't try to contact the suspect. You get a statement. The suspect may go, this guy may be, yeah, I know this guy, he slept with my wife and I was pissed at him and I wanted to kill him. That could have been a statement. They said, nope, we're not interviewing him. Too much problems. DA won't prosecute. This is just, I'm a rape victim. Hey man, the guy raped me. Are you sure? We don't think he raped you. No rape kit. I'm not contacting a suspect. I'm not going to try and collect evidence. Go on. We're going to make this case inactive. I don't even know if they're doing this for domestic violence. Hey, my husband beat me. You know what? You probably deserved it. You probably didn't make him a sandwich. We're not taking pictures. We're not contacting your husband. We're going to make the case inactive. This is the authority that they have. Now, when you ask the PD, they're going to be like, oh, of course we wouldn't do that. And if it was a serious, and these cases are really evaluated, they're really evaluated really well, except for the elected official DA who hires his deputy DAs who are actually involved in a prosecution. No. We don't need them. We're Denton police. We are we can take over the whole government. And you can't question us. We can't give you a copy. You have no right to know. And we don't even keep records of how many victims we victimize or re-victimize by not sending their cases to the DA. Outrageous. I wanted to add in the public defender. Some places call him public defender. I guess in Denton they call it indigent defense. The public defender should take note of this, and this should be their primary defense for all their clients in court. Because if your client is getting charged with a crime by Denton, why did they investigate and refer your client's case to the DA? And who didn't they refer that committed the same crime? I mean, this is a perfect, this policy has so many, this is a perfect defense for a defense attorney in front of a jury. If I was on a jury and I'd be like, wait a minute, you investigated this guy and made this guy a victim, but you didn't do it for everybody? This person's getting singled out as a real victim, and you're really going after this suspect. How many suspects did you let go who did the same thing, and why are you charging this one and not the other ones? Well, if I'm Denton police, I'm going to go, well, we don't keep track of that, and it's just a policy, and I'm sure that never happened, and we can't give you any information on how many times it happened. Perfect! Defense attorney needs to take note of this. What? There's another benefit. Denton is a safe place to live. Ask the PD. Their crime rates are down. They're not reporting them. They're telling 50 victims a day to take a walk and not giving it to the DA. But Denton's a safe place. Look how low our crime stats are. It's just crazy, people. I'll put contacts, phone numbers. You can do what you want. You can say I'm the crazy guy. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm overreacting. It's not, that's good. If you think this is good, that police, you're on the wrong channel. I don't even want you subscribing. Get out of here. I am about government accountability and power. This is a huge power grab. This is a huge division of powers that they are grabbing. Right for abuse, more power for cops, less accountability, and people and citizens that screwed over. This may not affect you if you're not a victim, but if you or your daughter is a victim of a crime, no matter what the crime, robbery, sexual assault, whatever, Denton Police has the authority to say, you're not a real victim, and we don't think the DA will prosecute, so we ain't doing nothing. Your case is inactive. Take a walk. You gotta love it. Earning the hate. Back to blue. We'll end that there. Y'all have a good one.